Is Steve Rogers really dead? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Over the last week, we started getting some set photos of a funeral during the filming of Captain America: New World Order. And this has led many fans to start wondering about Chris Evans' Steve Rogers. Recently, the actor talked with comicbook.com and dove into a little bit of his role as Steve Rogers and, more importantly, the potential for him to return. So let's break it down. Well, there have been a lot of persistent rumors that Chris Evans could return to the MCU as Steve Rogers. There was even several trade reports back in 2021 that he had signed for a new deal to reprise the role of Captain America in one way, shape, or form. Now, quite honestly, Evans does not seem like he's very excited about the possibility of returning to the role, but he clearly does love Steve Rogers and his time as Captain America. It actually sounds kind of sacred to him. Now, recently at C2E2, he was asked about his possible return to the MCU, and he does make it pretty clear there are more stories to tell, but to me he sounds very hesitant. This is what he had to say. It's tough because I love the role deeply. He means so much to me, and I really do think there's more Steve Rogers stories to tell. Sure, but at the same time, I'm very, very precious with it. I'd become, it's like the little shiny thing that I have that I love so much, and I just don't want to mess up in any way. And I was part of something that was so special for a period of time, and in a way, it landed so well. As much as I'm connected to the role and love telling those stories and working with those people, it doesn't quite feel right now. Now, the status of Steve Rogers is completely up in the air. We know he was mentioned in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but there has been no definitive information on the status of the original Star-Spangled Avenger. Most of us fans believe he is still alive and not actually living on the moon. But where Evans is right now, it doesn't sound like the actor himself is ready to take up the shield again. Now, he does make it pretty clear, it doesn't quite feel right now. Meaning he has left the door open in the future. And the nature of the multiverse and some of the stories that are on the horizon, well, you have to wonder if there really is a path for him to return to the MCU, most likely in Secret Wars. This has been something we have talked about a lot, and honestly, for Marvel to overcome that Endgame box office, they're going to need some serious star power. And Chris Evans returning as Captain America, along with some other big-name Marvel actors like Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, well, quite honestly, it could drive the multiverse tale into a whole new territory and bring Marvel another set of record returns. For me, Evans played the role perfectly, and I totally agree with him. I want him to be really careful about returning and just taking too much from the well. Captain America got a happy ending, and until this universe does a full reboot, if that's the best we can get, I'd prefer to leave it as it stands. But we'll have to wait and see.